Imagine you're an F-35 pilot. The sound of your own breathing echoes inside your oxygen mask. Your cockpit displays are green. No warnings, no radar locks. You are invisible. Or at least, that's what you believe. But 700 kilometers away, in a cold trailer on the outskirts of Moscow, an antenna the size of a 3-story building has just captured the faint reflection bouncing off your aircraft's tail fin. You don't know it yet, but your fate has already been sealed. This isn't fiction. This is pure physics. And today, here on the Supreme Strategist channel, we are going to peel back those layers of physics one by one. Has fifth-generation stealth truly been rendered meaningless against the multi-spectral radars of the S-500? Stay with us until the very end, because the final answer will surprise you. Friends, let's first accept a fundamental truth. The word invisible was the greatest marketing lie of 20th century aviation. No aircraft is truly invisible. What we call stealth is actually an intricate game of geometry and chemistry. The airframe of an F-35 or F-22 is engineered so that X-band radar waves, those frequencies between 8 and 12 gigahertz used by missile fire control radars, are deflected at irrelevant angles rather than reflected back toward the transmitter. Flat surfaces, sharp edges, and faceted fuselage angles all serve one purpose: minimize signal return. But there's a critical detail many overlook. This design was optimized for a specific scenario: countering short and medium-range fire control radars, the ones responsible for final lock-on and missile guidance. Long-range surveillance radars, however, which operate at lower frequencies with longer wavelengths, were never part of the stealth design equation. And precisely this gap is the doorway through which Russia's S-500 Prometheus enters. It is not merely a radar system, it is a full orchestra of multi-spectral sensors specifically targeting the geometric blind spots of stealth technology. The Prometheus architecture. Now let's step inside the brain of the S-500. This system is not a monolithic defense platform. It is an entire radar ecosystem. Its two primary radars, the NSA and the 77T6, are both active electronically scanned arrays, AESA. Instead of a rotating mechanical dish, they employ thousands of small transmit-receive modules, each independently adjusting signal phase. The result? Electronic scanning at speeds no mechanical radar can match. But the true masterpiece is the N064 search radar. This radar operates simultaneously across VHF and UHF bands. Why does this matter? Because wavelengths in these bands range from 1 to 10 meters. When a radar's wavelength approaches the physical dimensions of an aircraft, all that complex faceted geometry becomes effectively irrelevant. The radar no longer sees surface angles. It interacts with the entire volume of the aircraft, and detection is only half the story. The S-500 was designed to track hypersonic targets at the edge of space, at altitudes exceeding 200 kilometers. If it can spot ballistic missiles and hypersonic glide vehicles up there, an F-35 flying at 10,000 meters is essentially a practice target. Frequency versus geometry. Here we reach the physical heart of the debate, a phenomenon known as Rayleigh scattering. When a radar's wavelength exceeds the physical features of a target, say a tail fin, wing edge, or engine intake, reflection ceases to be a function of geometry and becomes a function of volume. The F-35, with its conventional airframe, vertical stabilizers, and trapezoidal wings, is covered in small surfaces and sharp angles. In the VHF band, these angles no longer deflect signals. Signals simply pass beside them and interact with the overall structure. Had the F-35 adopted a flying wing design like the B-2 or B-21 with no tail and no vertical surfaces, it might have stood a better chance. But the F-35 is a multi-role fighter. It requires maneuverability. It needs vertical stabilizers for stability, and those very stabilizers act like mirrors in the VHF band. But hold on, detection is not destruction. The S-500 may see you, but completing the kill chain requires a stable radar lock for missile guidance. This is where electronic warfare enters the equation. Electronic warfare and counter-stealth. The S-500 is more than a radar. It integrates a comprehensive electronic warfare suite. Its ECCM, electronic countermeasures, capability is designed so that even if an F-35 deploys AN/ASQ-239 electronic attack pods to jam the radar, burn-through algorithms within the AESA arrays can separate genuine returns from noise. In the 2026 upgrades, Russian engineers added another layer, sensor fusion. S-500 batteries no longer rely solely on their active radar. Passive IRST sensors, electronic support measures antennas, and even geographically dispersed radars triangulate stealth targets within a unified network. Even if you suppress the primary radar, 3 other sensors still have eyes on you. What is the tactical consequence? NATO pilots must revise their playbook. The stealth bubble, once assumed to extend 100 kilometers, has shrunk to half or even a third against top-tier threats. Practically speaking, the F-35 must launch weapons earlier, retreat sooner, and accept greater risk. The future of aerial survival. So, is this the end of stealth? No, but it is a paradigm shift. The arms race continues. Next-generation RAM coatings are evolving toward multi-layered nanocomposites that absorb across broader frequency ranges. Meanwhile, radars leveraging gallium nitride (GaN) transistors have multiplied their sensitivity and output power. Each side takes a step forward. The other responds in kind. But what is the operational reality? The S-500 does not render current 5th-generation fleets obsolete. It forces them to abandon direct penetration tactics in favor of standoff engagement. The F-35 will no longer fly directly over the target. Instead, it will launch JASSM-ER or AGM-158C missiles from 200 kilometers away and turn back. And what does physics ultimately dictate? At low frequencies, physics favors the powerful sensor. Rayleigh scattering cannot be engineered away. Geometry cannot deceive a 10-meter wavelength. But at high frequencies, in the X-band, geometry and RAM still prevail. The real war, then, is a war across the spectrum. And in this war, there are no absolute victors, only escalating costs. Dear friends, my fellow supreme strategists, thank you for staying with me through every minute of this deep dive. I know this was dense material, full of frequencies, physics, and technical jargon. But you've proven that you crave substantive analysis, and I am genuinely proud to have an audience like you. If this breakdown added value, if you learned something new, please hit that like button. It's the simplest way to tell me to keep going down this path. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Next week, we'll explore the future of hypersonic warfare and its implications for aircraft carriers. You won't believe what's coming. Join the conversation in the comments below. Do you think stealth is dead, or has it simply evolved? I'm eager to read your perspectives. Until next time, stay strategic. Goodbye.